We be sunsets so beautiful they paint themselves on the edge of the earth. We be where dreams come to live and retire. We be artists making careers out of thin air. We be entrepreneurs and doers. Somewhere between bright ideas and done. We be chilly by blood and balloons for lungs. We be no I in team, but two and familia. We are your favorite city's favorite city, the heart of the Southwest in New Mexico's chest. We be one Borque. We be one Albuquerque.
We are the Julian Dossett Quintet, bringing you some of those at-home blues. Got everyone sitting 6 feet apart here, and sure happy to see y'all. Started off with the song called "I Got the Keys to the Highway." Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Got the key to the highway. I'm good, I'm bound to go. Gonna leave this town, not coming back no more. Heading back to the border, now where I'm headed now. Don't do nothing, keep you away from home. Oh, yeah. Slips over the mountain, I'll be on my way. Gonna leave this town and walk that old highway. All right, son. Give me a world, focus, mama, before I go. Gonna leave this town and coming back no more. Yes, sir. Go! Got the key to the highway. I'm good, I'm to go. Leave this town, not coming back no more. So long, baby, I must say goodbye. Whoa. Folks. Next up, we got some of those blue suede shoes. Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2. This is one for the money, 2 for show. You get ready now, go get over the door. Step my blue suede shoe. For the band. You guys sound great. Thank you all so much for tuning in to GOV-TV. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate you wherever you are. Thank you for listening. Let's see what we got next. Oh yeah. Next up we got a good one. It's an old song. It's called Leaving Town Today. Let's start us off. baby. Oh, but no more. Head by that side. Hey, don't you wanna go? I got trouble. I'm gonna worry about it. I just can't get satisfied. Can't get so bright. All right, man. Oh, yeah. Just can't be satisfied. Oh, can't be so bright. You know, get that. Well, no, my baby, sure don't jump aside. Sure don't roll that stage like you. I can walk out like that trouble. That's all I got. I'm not worried about it. I just can't get satisfied. Can't go right. Where don't you wanna go? I can't trouble. Yes, I do. And I'm not worried about it. I just can't be satisfied. Can't go back. Hey, thank y'all so much. Cheers, guys. Cheers. All right. Let's see what we got next. Let's see what we got next. Oh, man. Next up, we're going to do an old Little Walter song. This one is called My Bed. Shake my baby, shake little baby, my baby. Shake my baby, shake little baby, my baby. Oh, thank you, folks. Thank you, folks. Hope y'all are having a good time wherever you're watching. Hope y'all are safe and healthy and with the people you love. We are the Julian Dasa Quintet, playing a in-home blues session for you. Staying 5 people, 6 feet apart per regulation. Keep ourselves and everyone else safe. And I'd like to introduce the band, just if you guys give me a moment. We have Matthias Jorgensen here on lead guitar, Brandon Cordova way back there on the drums. Got Scotty Schumann over here on the upright bass, and John Michael Vasquez on that tenor saxophone. My name is Julian Dawson. We are the Julian Dawson Quintet. Thank you, guys. Let's see, we got plenty more coming up. We are feeling good and warmed up. Hey, thanks for sticking with us, guys. Do a few more for you. It's the original tune called When I Fall. When I fall, it's never gently. I fall plenty of time. See that I'm with these feet, they'll make up their mind. I got one first time bound, when the others headed away. Make up their mind before I lose my head. Have you ever heard a word said, worried mind, like you're stuck in place, frozen in time. At the bottom of this sorrow, and just to start again. You'll see me round the door. Oh, Johnny! When I fall, it's never gently, and I'm all plenty of time. You done put me with this face, can't make up their mind. At the bottom of that sorrow, let me try to start again. You'll see me right there. Hey, thank you, folks. It was an original tune called One Eye Phone. Oh, next up, we got a good one. It's called That's Alright, Mama. That's alright, Mama. That's alright with you. That's alright, Mama. Anyway you do, it's alright. That's alright. Well, that's alright, Mama. Anyway you do. My mama, she told me, my papa told me too. Stay away from that girl, she got no good to you. That's alright. That's alright. Well, that's alright, Mama. Anyway you do. Oh, good time. Hey. Keep that thing going. All right. That's alright, Mama. That's alright with you. That's alright, Mama. Anyway you do. That's alright. That's alright. That's alright, Mama. Anyway you do. One more time. My mama, she done told me. My papa told me too. Stay away from that girl. She got no good to you. That's alright. That's alright. Well, that's alright, Mama. Anyway you do. Hey, thank you so much, folks. We feel very lucky to have the opportunity to be playing for you this evening, and we appreciate you listening to those at-home blues. We are going to play an old traditional tune. This one's been done many times over the years. Anyway. It's called the Walking Blues. Hey! Hey! Woke up this morning, look around for my shoe. But you know about that, baby. Got this overkill Feel like blowing my old lonesome home. Woke up this morning, my little place was gone. Feel like blowing my old lonesome home. I woke up this morning, all I heard was gone. Yes, it was. Oh, Johnny. Here to spoil if I have to. Oh, out of blind. And I've been mistreated. I go back and down. Spoil if I have to. Oh, out of blind. Mistreated. I don't mind now. Oh! Get out! Woke up this morning, round for my shoe. But you know about that, baby. Got this over blue. Woke up this morning, round for my shoe. anywhere. Oh man, that was a good one right there. Thank y'all. I'm having so much fun playing with the band. It's been too long for us. We appreciate y'all tuning in, and got one more tune for you guys. One more. It's called the Walking Blues. This one's called the Stumbling Blues. That's one. Where you got me just sitting there, not going anywhere. Where I was wondering just what I'd done wrong. Got the notes in my brain. Though sometimes I'm feeling pain. I know I've been gone way too long. Well, it's love that she's been moving me. I think I'll be alright. Going through my bed, can't remember from dawn. Well, it's love that she's been losing me. I want another life. Gonna keep my head straight, my best on. And I look time, oh my way down. Stop me right on a Friday night. Oh, stop it right there. Just sitting there, not going nowhere. Where I wondering just what I done wrong. I got those no Louisiana bills in my veins. Oh Lord, sometimes I'm feeling pain. I know I've been gone way too long. Yes, well, it's love that she's still loving me. I think I'll be alright. Going through my bed, can't remember from down. Yes, sir. Well, it's love that she's still loving me. I want to put it light. Gonna keep my head straight, my best on. And I look time, oh my way down. Stumbling away on Friday night. One more time. And I look time, oh my way down. Stumbling away on Friday night. Oh, thank you guys. Thank y'all. We got Matthias Jorgensen on lead guitar, Brandon Cordova on the drums, Scotty Schumann on the upright bass, John Michael Vasquez on that tenor sax. My name is Julian Dawson. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Thanks so much to Vanessa at One Albuquerque in the city for having us out. Thanks, y'all. Have a good day.
Hi, I'm Diana.
And I'm Sheldon. I work at Explora.
And I work at the city of Albuquerque. We're here today to help you celebrate
New Year's Eve before dark.
We've got tons of fun videos today from all across cultural services, and we're going to be getting ready for the ultimate, most super big, explosive, best celebration ever. Sheldon, tell us what that is.
It's New Year's Eve, an Explora staple.
And what's New Year's Eve, you ask? You're going to have to stick around to find out.
Madam Zella and Fritz the Fiddler present New Year's Eve Before Dark. Yay! Everyone, welcome to our party.
Wow, what a year 2020 was.
A lot happened. This year was for the birds.
It was really hard to find toilet paper.
And there was a lot of waiting in long lines.
But the worst part was definitely meow, 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 meow. Oh, that's right, Marmalade. Anyway, the good news is it's all almost over.
Finally, is everyone ready to count down to the new year?
Ready.
All right.
10,
9, 8,
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Before we get to that, we have a few more videos we have to get through, and then we'll start the countdown.
Hi everyone, I'm Josh with the Albuquerque Public Library, and this is quick science you can do at home. Today, wind-powered boats. Now, the first thing we're gonna need is some old cardboard. I just found this from an old box. Cut that out so we can have a nice flat piece. Some other supplies we might need are scissors, a ruler, and a marker, a pencil and a sharpener, an old coffee mug, and some tape, cardstock. In this case, I have colored cardstock, but any piece of paper will do. Some old drinking straws, and some type of stick that can fit through a drinking straw like this. Now in this case, I have some old wooden skewers that I pre-cut, but you can use anything as long as it'll fit inside of our plastic tube easily. All right, so let's build the base of our wind-powered car. So I already have some pre-cut, but all I did was I took some cardboard and I cut out a boat-like shape, but it can be any shape you want. Experiment with different ideas. This is what I came up with. So this is gonna be the body of our boat. The next thing we wanna do is cut out some wheels, cardboard wheels. And this is where your coffee mug comes into play. You take your coffee mug, place it on top of your cardboard, trace around it with your marker till you have a nice little outline of a circle, and you wanna cut that out and be as round as you possibly can. Now let's start constructing our car. First, you wanna take your bendy straw, if they're bendy, and we wanna cut that part off because we don't want it. What we're doing right now is creating our axle. Next thing you wanna do is find a stick a little bit longer than the actual straw that you used a second ago. So when you stick it through, it sticks out on both sides. What this will allow us to do is spin freely. So if I attach a wheel onto it, you can see that happen. Just like that. This will ensure that there's not a lot of friction on our wind-powered car. Next thing we're gonna do is attach our now made axles to the body of our car. So you want to kind of spread them out evenly as best you can, something like this, and tape them down. I'll do that real quick. If I can start this tape, there we go. Now you want to make sure they're as straight as possible because this will ensure that our vehicle will drive straight. Once you have that done, go ahead and place your axle through the center, just like that, and we'll leave that be for just a moment. Now, we want to turn this right side up, take our sharp pencil, find where we want to put the mast for our sail, and poke a hole through it. Be careful not to get your fingers underneath. Now, it has to be wide enough to hold an entire straw, which is roughly about the size of a pencil. Next, we're going to take our whole straw with the bendy, and we want to stick it bendy side through. This way, we can bend the bendy side forward or backwards. I like to go forward because it makes my mast lean back, and tape that down. Just like this. So now it shouldn't go anywhere, and it's pretty sturdy. The next thing we want to do is attach our wheels. So you just simply poke holes in the center of your wheels and slide them over the top, just like that. I need to give myself some extra space. There we go. Until you have a functional vehicle. Like so. Excellent. So I would take this part and test to see if it rolls. It does. Basically done. Now we want to take a piece of paper, and you can shape it any way you want, but this is what's going to be our potential energy. So take your shape, fold it in half like this so it has like a scoop type feel to it, and this is what's going to catch the wind, and you slide this over the top of your straw. And you can use your pencil again to punch holes in there, or if you have a hole punch laying around, use that as well. And voila, you have a wind-powered car, and this is what it looks like. Awesome.
Hi friends, my name is Miss Veronica, and Happy New Year's before dark! Today we're going to be making noisemakers. For this noisemaker, you're going to need pipe cleaners, bells, straw, and some ribbon. First, we are going to take our pipe cleaner and a bell, and we're just going to slip the pipe cleaner right through the bell like this, and we're going to twist, twist, twist it on. I'm going to use 3 bells, but you can use however many bells you would like. I'm using 3 bells because I like to be noisy. The noisier, the better. All right. There we go. Twist, twist, twist. Next, we're going to take all 3 of our bells, and we're going to twist them together like this. And we're going to twist, twist, twist those pipe cleaners. Once we get to our desired length, we're going to take our scissors. Make sure to ask your adult before you use scissors, and we're going to cut off whatever's left. Then we're going to take our bells, and we are going to tuck the pipe cleaner right into the straw. Oh my gosh, I'm having a little hard time. I didn't twist enough, so I'm going to twist some more. There we go. Now we're going to tuck, 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 tuck. All right, it's in there pretty tight. Now, there's the noisemaker part of our craft. I want to make my noisemaker really festive. So I'm going to use some ribbon, and I'm just going to tie the ribbon right on to those bells. I'm using black, white, and some purple, because I think those are very festive New Year's colors. And there we have it, our special craft. If you don't have bells at home, you can probably find something else that will make noise. Also, if you don't have ribbons at home, maybe you can use yarn or something else. I went through my Christmas supplies and found bells and ribbons, so that's what I used. Thank you all for joining me today, and I will see you in our next video. Bye!
Ready?
No. Yes, I'm ready.
What's your New Year's resolution?
God, that's so hard.
What's your New Year's resolution?
Oh dear.
Is this literally, do I have to keep my feet here?
Yes.
New Year's resolution. Oh my gosh. You would think that would be an easy one.
What's your New Year's resolution?
Can we start over? Is that really the question?
Yeah, this mask really messes up my beard.
Well, I always have a New Year's resolution to read 2 books a month.
To read more nonfiction.
Read more books.
What's your New Year's resolution?
Cope. Survive.
My New Year's resolution would be to have a better year.
A better year. Make it to the next year.
Probably to have a very healthy year and really hope that everyone around the world gets past this pandemic.
What's your New Year's resolution?
My New Year's resolution is to meditate more.
Get my head in order.
To be more intentional with my life.
Try to be more patient.
Let things go.
Exercise more. For health.
My New Year's resolution is to eat right, exercise all the time, and get out of bed when my alarm goes off.
A few of my resolutions are...
get back in touch with my priorities and set some goals.
I'm going to organize my house.
Play with my dog more.
Get my Patreon up.
Make a new friend.
Graduate debt-free.
Play more video games.
Be the best version of myself I possibly can, I guess.
My New Year's resolution is to continue to have New Year's.
I dig it.
Next year, I want to be really appreciative of all those little things that we get to enjoy, that we don't get to enjoy right now.
Live music.
Travel.
Travel more, if I can.
Go to the movies again.
To go to Disney World.
I'm going to Paris. I hope.
My New Year's resolution is to do more shows with my brother, Fritz, the fiddler.
Lose weight. You know, I think I'd like to get more exercise this year for sure. Maybe run a marathon. Or what is it, a triathlon or a marathon? The running one. Yeah.
My New Year's resolution is to be more creative. To spend more time doing creative things.
To be a better guitar player.
Learn to play the violin.
What's your New Year's resolution?
How? To make my aunt's life better.
Spend as much time with my entire family as possible.
My New Year's resolution would be to probably send more postcards and letters because I realized how important that was this year. So.
What's my New Year's resolution? I don't have New Year's resolutions.
I don't make New Year's resolutions. I never make them. I never make a New Year's resolution.
Honestly, I haven't thought about it. Like, with the way my life is, it's just, let me get through today.
I get it.
You know, I hadn't even given it much thought with everything that's going on this year. So I think my New Year's resolution is just to maintain this level of thankfulness that this past year has brought to my life.
What else? I'm going on a road trip. That'll be pretty good as soon as I get the vaccine out. I want to be a real boy. I'm gonna escape the library. That's right. Yeah, definitely gonna go visit some friends across the country. I'd like to learn to do wood carving. What is that? Yeah, wood carving. I'd like to learn Python, maybe. Do some coding.
Wow, thank you so much to our friends at the Albuquerque and Bernalillo County Public Libraries for that amazing,
enigmatic,
wonderful,
awe-inspiring,
masterfully edited
beautiful
video. Now, we have an experiment that you can try at home with your very own library books.
But first,
Hand sanitizer. Fresh and clean.
done. And now for our experiment. So what we want to show you guys today is what we call paper columns. As you can see here, we have one column made of just a single sheet of paper, holding up all these books. And we want to see if you folks at home can do the same thing. And all you have to do, it's super simple, is take a piece of paper and roll it up just like this.
Like a taquito.
Exactly. And just put one piece of tape and see how many of your library books you can hold up, like here.
So right now we have 3 stacked up here, but I want to add my very favorite book last.
Ooh, let's
Do you
see
think
it.
we can do it?
I think so.
Okay, my favorite book is called Ben's New Trick. If you're interested in finding out what Ben's New Trick is, go check it out from your local library. Okay, here we go.
I'm nervous.
I'm pretty nervous. I don't know if I can do this. I went to art school. Oh man. Here we go.
You got it.
Yay!
we did
It
it.
works! One piece of paper can hold 4 books.
That's impressive.
That's a whole lot of books. And now we're going to go to the BioPark to see what they have to share with us.
Ooh, how fun.
See you after the BioPark.
Hi everybody, I'm Jessica and I'm the Zoo Education Coordinator here at the ABQ BioPark.
And I'm Bethany, the School and Youth Programs Coordinator.
And we are here to take you on an adventure from the North Pole all the way down to the South Pole to celebrate for this New Year's Eve.
We're super excited because mostly, the animals we'll be talking about today are pretty amazing. They have some really great adaptations.
They are pretty amazing. So let's start with our polar bears.
Polar bears are the largest land predator in the world.
Thank you. They are pretty big and they are found up in the North Pole, right?
They are found in the North Pole, so we're going to find them here in North America, up in Canada, Alaska, and even further up where it's nice and cold, so they might be getting some hot cocoa with Santa Claus.
Wow, so they probably love chilly days like it is right now, but are they okay in the summer too?
Yeah, so here at the Albuquerque BioPark, with all of our animals, we take into account their natural habitat when creating habitats for them here in New Mexico. So thinking about polar bears are what we call semi-aquatic animals. They're going to be spending time in the water as well as on land. And for that reason, as you come and visit the BioPark, you'll see that there's different perches for them to go hang out on. They can climb on different rock structures, and there's also a nice pool for them. Now, this pool is nice and chilled. So on those hot New Mexican days, they can go in and get a nice dip. So it's basically just refrigerated water.
That sounds perfect. They also have a water slide, right?
They do have a water slide. I've actually seen them go down it a couple times.
That sounds like a really fun activity if you're a polar bear.
Now, here at the BioPark, though, there's something that's a little different about our polar bears than you would see in the wild, and that's that they live together. Jessica, do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Sure. So normally in the wild, polar bears, especially adult male polar bears like we have here, would be found out on their own. But our 2 polar bears here are brothers, and they've lived together for their whole lives. They came here in 1997 when they were about a year old. So they were born in 1996, and they've lived together their whole lives.
They're a dynamic duo.
They are.
And what are their names?
Oh, their names are Kiska and Kaluk, and they are brother polar bears, and they have a great time here with all of their enrichment. Do you know what enrichment is?
Yeah, so when we're talking about our animals with their adaptations, which are things that they have that help them survive, we provide them with enrichment, which are things to help stimulate them mentally and physically. And so with our polar bears enrichment, sometimes, just their habitat itself, right? Having that nice big pool is an essential part of their enrichment. It can be getting different kinds of foods and treats, but one of their favorite types of enrichment is one that we actually got to showcase with them them earlier this year was their giant pickles. Pickles. Now I know what you're thinking. Polar bears do not find pickles at the North Pole, and you would be right. But here at the Albuquerque BioPark, we've provided our polar bears with some giant plastic pickles, and they go to town when they get those bad boys.
So not a real pickle.
Not a real pickle.
So why do they like pickles more than the other toys?
You know, that is a really good question, and I'm not sure people know why, but they just go crazy for these pickles. I mean, we've seen them jump up and down on them, throw them up in the air. They definitely start chewing on them. Maybe it's just the texture, I don't know.
I guess lots of stuff for their mouths to hold on to, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
With their big sharp teeth.
They're big sharp teeth, and you know what? We have something that we can share that highlights some of those polar bears' big sharp teeth. Okay, so when we're talking about some adaptations, again, something that an animal has to help it survive, the skull is always a really good place to highlight some of those. So here we have a polar bear skull, and we can see some right away. First off are those big, sharp teeth. Now, polar bears are carnivores, which means they're only eating meat, and they'll use these sharp teeth to rip and tear their meat and swallow it whole. Now, that means that like most carnivores, polar bears have really bad table manners. They can't chew their food. So they have to tear it into those pieces and then swallow it. And that sharp serrated teeth are going to be perfect for doing that. Another adaptation that we might see here are their eyes. So their orbital sockets are right here and right here. Now, some of you might have heard this before. Eyes in the front likes to hunt. Eyes on the side, run and hide. And what that essentially means is that animals that have eyes in the front of their face, like us, looking at you, that means that you're going to be a predator. You're not really worried about animals sneaking up behind you. Now, if your eyes are on the side of your face, like a deer or a rabbit would be right around here, that means that you're able to see from here almost all the way back behind your head. So you can be on the lookout for any predators that might be sneaking up on you. And our polar bear here with his eyes in the front is definitely a predator. So when we think about other adaptations we can spot, you're going to be looking right here. This is a spot where we see our animal's jaw muscles. So if you take your hand, put it right here, you can open and close your mouth. You can't really see mine with a mask on, but you get the idea. So that is going to be where their jaw muscles are coming through their skull. So the larger these holes are right here, the larger those jaw muscles are going to be. And our big predators, like our polar bears, are going to have some really strong ones. And we can see that here, this line on the back of their skull is also a line that delineates where those muscles are going to be. So we can learn a lot about an animal just by looking at their skull.
So another really great adaptation that polar bears have is these giant paws. So their paws are about the size of your dinner plate, and they use these paws for a lot of things. They use them for swimming, and they can swim really, really long distances at a time. They use it to hunt, to get their prey. They have fur on the bottom of their paw, and that can help to act like a snowshoe, so that helps keep them on top of the snow as they're walking.
So one of the things that polar bears are pretty famous for is their white fur, but it's not really white. Is it, Jessica?
It's not actually white. It looks white, but it's actually translucent or mostly clear. And what you see is the light reflecting back off of it, and that's why it looks white. So their fur is clear or translucent. Their skin, do you know what color their skin is?
Now, isn't their skin black? Is that right?
Their skin is black, and so that helps them to absorb heat because they live somewhere where it's really cold. So that black skin helps to absorb the sunlight. Here in New Mexico, though, you might come to the BioPark sometimes, and you might see our polar bears, and they might look green. So in addition to their fur being transparent or translucent, it's also hollow. Any ideas why it's hollow?
Well, if it's hollow, is it like trapping air in to help keep them warm?
Exactly. It's like insulation. But because their fur is hollow, sometimes during the summer, it'll grow algae inside their little hairs.
Oh, so that's why they're green.
That's why they're green. And they're not entirely green, but sometimes they have a green hint to them.
Yeah, a little glow, if you will.
Exactly.
It's just their summer look.
Exactly. So you talked a lot about polar bear teeth. Do you know what they eat?
I do know what they eat. So polar bears, because they live up in the North Pole, where it's very cold, require a lot of fat. Now, when you hear that at home, you might be thinking, having a lot of fat's not good for you. But for polar bears, it is excellent. Because fat is essentially two things, right? Insulation and energy. And if you're somewhere really, really cold, you're naturally going to be burning a lot more energy than you would in a temperate place, like most of the United States. And then also, you want to have that extra insulation to keep you warm. So in the wild, polar bears love to eat things like seals. They're going to have a lot of fat in them. That's really good for them. They'll sometimes come on land and eat other things like moose, caribou, and then they'll also, of course, eat fish.
And that's what they eat mostly here, right? Fish and ground meat.
Yeah, so here in Albuquerque, it's not going to be as cold as it is in the North Pole, so they don't need to eat as much food that's going to be so high in fat content.
That makes sense. So do they exercise a lot here?
All of our animals are given different opportunities to exercise and move around. With our polar bears, they are a little bit on the older side. And if you don't know this, just watch your grown-ups and your humans. The older you get, the more they appreciate naps. And that's true for most, if not all, animals. But they do. They're able to get some swimming in. And again, they have different climbing structures and things like that. So really utilizing those same muscles that they would be in the wild. So Jessica, talking about what polar bears like to eat, are penguins on a polar bear's diet?
That's a great question. So penguins and polar bears don't actually live in the same part of the world. So for polar bears, we visited the North Pole. Now we're going to go talk about penguins, and for that we have to travel all the way down to the South Pole.
Ooh, still going to be cold, right?
Still cold, but a different half of the globe.
Okay, well, I'm excited.
For our penguins here at the BioPark, we're actually not going to go all the way to the South Pole because our penguins here aren't found all the way down there like with the emperor penguins.
Oh, so what kind of penguins do we have here?
We've got 3 different kinds of penguins here. We have Gentoo penguins, we have macaroni penguins, and we have king penguins. And they would be found mostly just off of Antarctica, but not all the way down to the South Pole.
Jessica, I have a question for you, and it might seem a little silly, but I've heard it from multiple people, and I'm not sure what the answer is. So, do penguins have knees? Because if you think about it, right, whenever we see them, they just go around like their little penguin waddle. Well, I know, and you're laughing, but that's what they look like. Can they do head, shoulders, knees, and toes? Is that something penguins can do?
That is a great question. So penguins do actually have knees.
Wow.
And even though when you look at them, it looks like their legs are short and stubby, right? They actually have fairly long legs. They're just hidden by their feathers. And a lot of birds are like that too. But although penguins are kind of awkward on land.
Yeah, just a little.
They are made for the water. So they are smooth and graceful, and they can swim like nobody else.
Well, I mean, they're basically shaped like a bottle, right? You know? And so when they go in and they dive, they're able to just whoosh, just like that.
Just like that.
Just smooth, you know? But also, I mean, their feathers are made for swimming. Yeah. So can you talk about that a little bit?
Sure. So penguins are waterproof, which helps for their swimming. So they swim in those really cold waters. So they have an oil that they can put all over their feathers to help waterproof them so that they don't get wet and cold. They can also control how far their feathers are away from their body.
No way.
So they use it to control their buoyancy. Do you know what buoyancy is?
Well, buoyancy is just your ability to float, right?
Yeah. So what makes you buoyant?
Well, fat is something that helps make us buoyant, right? I know for birds and thinking about buoyancy in the air, right? A lot of them have hollow bones that allows them to lift up into the air, but penguins have solid bones.
They do have solid bones, which helps them dive. What about air? If you take a deep breath when you're swimming.
Oh, that's what you were getting at. Yeah, air is definitely going to be helpful for that too.
Yeah, so when they have their feathers far away from their body, they can trap air inside their feathers.
So I guess it's like the idea of throwing a basketball in the water that's filled with air versus throwing a rock that would just sink.
Exactly, yeah. And you can sometimes actually see that if you come here to Penguin Chill and you watch the penguins dive. Sometimes you'll see a cloud of bubbles.
I have seen that, yeah, those air bubbles that will come off their body. Right now is typically breeding season or mating season for penguins. So we're talking about them being waterproof. Their babies aren't waterproof, right? Because they're just little cotton balls, essentially, of feathers.
They are, yeah. When they hatch, they're covered in downy feathers, and those downy feathers are not waterproof. So mom or dad is going to have to stay on land with them. And either mom or dad is going to have to go out and hunt and catch fish and bring back to them.
Wow, that sounds like a lot of work. Is that why they only have 1 or 2 eggs at a time?
Yeah, it's a lot of work to raise those babies. So another time that they're not waterproof is when they're molting. So they have what we call a catastrophic molt. So what happens is they get rid of all of their feathers at the same time, more or less the same time. So they are featherless, essentially.
But then what keeps them from like freezing?
So penguins, before they start to go through their catastrophic molt, they'll eat a ton of food. So what they do is they bulk up before it's their time to molt.
Okay.
And all of that food and fat, like you were talking about before, helps to keep them warm, helps to keep them going while they're waiting to molt. So while they're molting and they don't have any feathers, they're obviously not waterproof, right? So they can't go swimming while they're molting. So how do you think they get their food?
Well, do they just not eat?
They just don't eat. And that can be for weeks at a time, but it's a natural part of their biology. And actually, we even find that in human care, birds still go through that same process when they're molting. Even though the keepers are in there and they'll offer them food, oftentimes a lot of penguins will refuse.
They're just not hungry, huh?
It's just not their natural way.
Well, and that makes sense. We see that a lot with animals that we have here at the BioPark. You know, even though they're living here in Albuquerque, they still have some behaviors that reflect their natural habitat. Well, we looked at a polar bear skull. Should we check out a penguin skull?
Yeah, definitely. So skulls are a great way to see some of these adaptations. And we've got here a king penguin skull, which is one of the penguins that we have here at the BioPark. They're the largest one that we have here. And you can see they've actually got those eyes in the front as well. So penguins, although they're a lot smaller than polar bears, they're still predators too. So you can see they've got that long, skinny beak that they're going to use to reach out and catch fish. Compared to like a flamingo beak, if you've seen one of those, it's more of like a filter or like a scoop. So these are made for jabbing fish. And they've got actually some ridges on the inside to help hold on to those fish. Make sure they don't slip away.
So Jessica, today has been so great.
Yeah.
We've been able to visit both of the poles of the Earth, right?
Yeah, we saw the polar bears at the North Pole and we went all the way down to the South Pole to meet with our penguins.
Man, I just feel exhausted from all that traveling.
So if you don't feel like traveling that far, you can always travel on down here to the ABQ BioPark to see our very own penguins and polar bears here at the BioPark.
Yeah, or maybe even us.
You might even see us.
Bye guys.
Bye guys, Happy New Year's Eve.
And thank you so much to our friends at the BioPark for showing us those cute critters. And now we have some amazing critters of our own to show you.
Very cute. Also, it's time for a 10-second cockroach dance party! Wow, these little guys sure know how to party down on New Year's Eve. Now, let's go to the Albuquerque Museum for some craft time. I think it's time for these little guys to take a nap.
See you soon.
Hi, my name is Jessica Coyle and I'm the Associate Curator of Education at Albuquerque Museum, and we're here today in the museum's beautiful sculpture garden with my friend Julia, and we're going to show you how to make a paper crown for your New Year's Eve celebration. All right, so first I'm going to tell you what supplies you need. You're going to need anywhere from 5 to 8 sheets of paper. You can use colored paper, you can use paper with a design, you can use just plain white paper you draw on yourself, but you're gonna need 5 to 8 pieces of it to fold to make your crown, just like this one. You're gonna cut this paper into 6-inch by 6-inch blocks. So to do that, you're gonna need a ruler, a pencil, and some scissors. All right. Once you have your paper cut out, you're gonna need some Scotch tape. You're gonna need colored pencils if you wanna decorate. We also have some fun stuff like pom-poms, beads, flowers. You could use feathers, anything you have at home to decorate your crown with. And if you're gonna decorate, it might help to have some glitter glue. It's always one of my favorites. I also like to use hot glue to put on all my decorations, but I know not everybody has one of these, so you can just use, regular white glue. You can use a glue stick. It will all work. All right, so the first thing you're gonna do, like I said, is you're gonna have to cut out a 6-inch by 6-inch square from piece of paper to make your crown. You're gonna need, like I said, if you're a kid, you're probably gonna need 5 or 6. If you're an adult, you're gonna need 7 or 8 pieces. So the first thing you gotta do is measure to make sure you've got a 6-inch by 6-inch square on your paper. Once you've got that measured, you're gonna cut them out. You wanna be really careful when you're cutting out because you wanna make sure that you get a square, because you're going to be folding this to make the triangles in your crown. So you want it to be as perfect as you can get it, as close to a square as you can. All right, so once you've got all your paper cut out, you're going to start to fold it. So the first thing you're going to do, you take a piece of paper and you're gonna lay it with the design that you want to face out flat on the table in front of you. So that design's gonna be done. The white side of the paper will be facing you. Then you're gonna take that piece of paper and you're gonna fold it into a rectangle. And you're gonna unfold it because you just want this line. You just wanna be able to see that line. Once you can see that line, you're gonna take the left corner, you're gonna fold it down to meet that line so it looks like this. You're gonna do the same thing with the other side. You want them to meet in the middle. So once you fold it, it's gonna look like a little house. You want it to look exactly like this. Then you're gonna take the bottom and you're gonna fold it up to that middle line that you creased on your paper. So it looks like a rectangle at the bottom. And then you're gonna fold it up again. So when you're done, your piece of your crown is gonna look like this. And like I said, you're gonna need 5 or 6 of these if you're a kid, and 7 or 8 if you're an adult. Once you've got this, you're gonna fold it in half one more time. So there's a crease in the middle that helps it go into a circle shape so it'll fit on your head like this one right here. So you're gonna have piece, you're gonna need, like I said, I need 8 of these because I have a big head. If you have a smaller head, you probably only need 5 or 6. But I have 8 of these that I've made for me. And now, once you have all 8 of these, you're gonna put them together to make your crown. So what you wanna do, and I'll show you this a couple of times, is you're gonna fold the bottom out on one with the triangle facing up. Your other one, you're fold the bottom out with the triangle facing down. And you're gonna slide those pieces together and fold it up so that when you're done, it looks like this. So let me show you again. Like I said, you're gonna hold it. So one, it's facing up, the other one is facing down. And you're gonna, the other one's facing down. You're gonna slide them together. You only wanna go about halfway, right to where that center fold is. And then they will stay together just like that. And you're gonna keep going until you've got them all together in your crown. Like I said, for it to fit me, I need about 8 of them. If you got a smaller head than I do, you're probably good with just about 5 or 6 of these. If you have some trouble, they probably will stay together on their own. But if you're worried about it and you really want to make sure that your crown stays together, you can just take a piece of tape and right where that crown stops in the center, you can just put a little piece of tape on each of those where the pieces meet so that you can see that your crown will stay together for sure. You won't have to worry about it. Yeah, now I know for sure it's gonna stay together. I can do this exact same thing here. Get them to slide together. You want one, go down. And now you can see you have a perfectly together crown that's ready to decorate. Like I said, for my decorations, I like to use things like, you know, puff balls, you can use fake flowers, you can use feathers, you can use my ultimate favorite glitter glue, anything you have with just some liquid glue or hot glue or a glue stick. And then when you're done, you can see, get an idea of what it might look like. I'm here with my friend Julia, and we're gonna show you how to make a party blower for your New Year's Eve celebration. All right, so to make this blower, you're gonna need a few supplies. First off, you're gonna need some 8.5 by 11 paper. You wanna make sure it's not too heavy because you're gonna be needing to fold it and to curl it up to make your blower, but you can use computer paper, scrapbook paper, magazine paper, anything that you have around your house should work just fine. All right, after that, you're gonna need some scissors and a ruler to make sure you can cut your paper to the right size. You're gonna need colored pencils if you wanna decorate your paper. I wouldn't use markers for this because markers are kind of wet and you're gonna be folding your paper. You're gonna need a straw to add to your blower. You're gonna need a glue stick to glue everything together, and you're gonna need a piece of tissue paper to make the fringe on your blower like this one. You're also going to need a paper clip for when you go to roll up your paper to make your blower. Okay, so the very first step in making this is you're gonna take your paper and you're gonna cut it into a 3.5 by 11 inch strip. So take your ruler and you're gonna measure, like I said, 3.5 inches. A regular sheet of paper, computer paper, is already 11 inches long, so you just need to make a 3.5 inch strip of paper that you're gonna cut out. I have one all ready to go over here. So once you have your 3.5 by 11 strip of paper, you're gonna need your ruler again because you need to measure 1 inch in from each edge because that'll show you where to fold your paper. Like I said, you're gonna have to measure in 1 inch from the left and 1 inch from the right. So, and you're gonna use that at mark to show you where to fold your paper to make your blower. You can draw a line if that makes you feel a little bit better, like because you want to get it as straight as possible. So when you're done, you're going to have a piece that looks like this. You want to make sure if you have decorated paper, if you've drawn a design on your paper, that it's facing out so it'll be, everyone will be able to see it. Once you do that, you need your handy dandy glue stick because you need to glue your paper shut. You're gonna open one side of it and you're gonna run some glue along the folded side, on the outside, the decorated side, and on the side you unfolded, you're gonna run it along the white. And then you're gonna fold it back over and you're gonna run your fingers all over because you want it to seal into a tube that looks like this. You wanna make sure it's sealed up really well, and then you need to fold one in. So you run a little glue on the outside of the end and you're fold it over. Because what you want is once it dries, you're gonna have a tube that is essentially sealed so you can blow air into it and it'll hold like an envelope. All right, so once you have that envelope, you need to take your straw and you're gonna wanna cut this in half. It doesn't have to be exact, you can just eyeball it. If you have a bendy straw, you're gonna want the half that doesn't bend. And then you're gonna stick that into the end of your tube, the open end, and you're gonna fold the edges down into little triangles here. So essentially you're gonna seal it around the straw and you're gonna use your tape. Clear tape is probably the best. I like Scotch tape. But you're gonna tape around that as tight as you can. You might wanna use a couple of pieces just to make sure. Because what you want to make sure is that it's just tight, and so when you blow in this and there's no air leaking out, and you can inflate your paper just like that. Okay, so now that you've got the basics of your blower together, you're going to take your pencil and you're going to roll up the tube around the pencil. So you're gonna keep rolling. Whoops, sometimes you make a little mistake and you gotta start again. But you're gonna keep going until you've rolled up the whole thing as tight as you can around the pencil. All right, once you've got it all rolled up, you're gonna take the pencil out. Remember how I said you're gonna need a paper clip? So what you're gonna do, you're gonna take this and you're gonna paper clip it just like that, so it's gonna stay rolled up. And the reason you wanna do that is you need to leave it like this for a couple of hours so that when you take the paper clip off, the paper will stay rolled up and hold this shape. Okay. Now, if you want to be able to have some fringe, like so, you're going to need a piece of tissue paper. You're going to cut a square that's about 5 inches wide and 4 inches long. And then what you're going to do is you probably want to take your ruler and you're going to draw a line about 1/2 inch from one end, because you want to make sure you don't cut past that line when you're making fringe. Then you're going to take your scissors. All right, so you're going to want to cut all the way across So once you've got a cut, you're going to run a thin line of glue. If you tear it, it's no big deal because you're going to glue it on anyway. Just glue it back together a little bit. And then you're going to glue it to your party blower. You're just going to keep wrapping it around. It's going to go around a bunch of times. So when you're done, give it a good shake. Make sure that it's all stuck on there. It's not going to come off. All right, so now your party blower is together. Like I said, you're just going to wait a couple of hours with that paper clip on to make sure that your paper is going to stay rolled off. When you're done, you can take it off. And like I said, you can blow in and then suck the air back into your mouth to make your party blower go in and out. All right, thanks so much for joining Julia and I. You can see she's all ready for the party, and hopefully you will be too. Enjoy your New Year's Eve. Thanks so much.
Wowie, wowie. Thank you so much for that amazing craft idea, Albuquerque Museum.
Beautiful.
We love our new crowns.
And they fit so nicely.
Wow.
And now, speaking of paper, we have a super cool electricity demo here that involves some paper right in Explora.
But
first, hand sanitizer.
Hand sanitizer.
Thank you. All done. Now, let me show you guys the Van de Graaff generator. Now, this uses a rubber band inside the cylinder here to roll around and generate an electric current inside this dome. So I'll have a volunteer stand on the crate if anyone from the audience wants to participate. All right, come on over, step on the crate for me, please.
Okay.
Go ahead, don't be nervous.
Okay.
Put one hand here on the dome. It won't shock you, you're fine. And the other hand out and flat like a pancake.
Like this?
Perfect. And I'm going to put some paper shreddings in there.
Okay.
Just like that. And now I'm going to start the machine and you'll feel the electricity go through your body and out to your hand.
Okay.
But don't worry, it won't shock you.
Okay, are you sure?
I promise.
You really promise?
I really, really promise.
Do you pinky promise
Pinky
from 6
promise.
feet apart?
Beep.
Okay.
You ready?
Pretty scared, but let's do this.
And here we go. Oh boy!
Whoa!
Look at that paper! It flew right out. And now go ahead and lift up this hand.
Which hand?
On the dome, all the way up in the air.
Ah!
On the dome. Ah! There we go. And then go ahead and step off the crate. Your hair is standing up.
Woo! A new hairdo for me.
And that was the demo.
Can I put my hands down?
You can put your hands down.
Good, my arms are getting tired.
I understand.
Hi, I'm Nan Maslin, Director of the Balloon Museum, and in celebration of New Year's this year, we are staying home and making lighter than air meringues. Here with me today are my two assistants, Caller and Mariah.
Hi!
We're using basic ingredients today to make our meringues, and they include eggs, just the whites, cream of tartar, sugar, and then what's optional is food coloring and flavor, lemon or vanilla. We are adding the cream of tartar and whipping the egg whites until stiff. You'll know your egg whites are whipped enough when you can do this.
Oh. Ooh.
Then you're going to gradually add sugar while whipping.
Whipping's fun.
Use a large pastry bag fitted with a star tip and paint the inside of the bag with your favorite food colors.
Pretty.
Nice.
Pretty. Preheat your oven to 175 degrees.
And on a parchment-lined baking sheet, go ahead and pipe.
Little dollops. Dollop 1. Dollop 2. Dollop 3. Bake for at least 1 hour or until completely dry. Nope.
They've been in the oven for over 2 hours, and now they're ready to come out. You know when they're ready? When they're perfectly dry.
And they look tasty.
They look delicious, so we give them a try?
Sure. Yummy.
From our family to yours, Happy New Year!
No more 2020!
Would you bring me home? Bonjour.
Hello, everyone. We are Bébé Lala, and I'm Maryse.
Je suis Alicia.
And we're so happy to be here to do a few songs for you for this New Year's event.
And Happy New Year to everybody. This song, our first song, is a French song, and it's about celebrating ourselves.
Yes, it's
so
a
we have to
celebration.
celebrate ourselves as we go into the new year.
Yes.
M'envoyer des fleurs. J'ai décidé de me faire du bien, de me faire couler un bain, d'étaler toutes les photos de moi, de les recomper de haut en bas. Je vais m'envoyer des fleurs, ne pas les coups de moi, des éloges à haute voix, des roses pour me féliciter d'être moi. J'ai décidé de me regarder, de m'éplucher dans le miroir, de dévoiler de mes atouts, de m'adorer de bout en bout. Je vais m'envoyer des fleurs, ne parler que de moi, des éloges à haute voix, des roses pour me féliciter d'être moi. J'ai décidé de me désirer, de m'inventer des sensations, de créer des émotions, de devenir mon obsession. Je vais t'envoyer des fleurs, ne parler que de moi, des éloges à haute voix, des roses pour me féliciter d'être moi, des roses que je ne t'enverrai pas, des roses que je ne t'enverrai pas, des roses que je ne t'enverrai pas, des roses que je ne t'enverrai pas. So this is our prayer for the world. It's called Magic Hour. It's an original song, and it's really about embracing those we love, the planet, the animals, and hope for the future. So, Magic Hour. If I come to you in a magic hour, would you cast a spell on me? Would you bring me home? Would you bring me to my knees? If I come to you in the light of day, would you wrap me in your smile? Would you take my hand? Would you walk with me a while? If I come to you when the moon is high, would you light the way for me? Would you see me home? Would you tuck me in to dream? We need to heed the call of the wild. These are the souls of the earth. Horses and wolves and bears and seals, birds of paradise lost. If I come to you at the break of dawn, would you wake me from my sleep? If you sing your song, I will sing my prayer for peace. If I come to you in magic hour, would you cast a spell on me? Would you bring me home? Would you bring me to my knees? If I come to you in a magic hour, would you cast a spell on me? So this one is called Fate. You never know where fate might lead you, and we don't know where 2021 will lead us, but we're ready.
Well, in case this is our Irish drinking song, more or less.
right,
So,
this is-
you know, we can always.
So lift your mugs to the
Yeah.
song and dance around. Happy New Year!
Happy New Year, everyone.
Would you bring me home?
Hi everyone, my name is Katie Farman and I'm the field trip and volunteer coordinator here at the Anderson Abruzzo Albuquerque International Balloon Museum. And today I'm going to show you how to make your very own hot air balloon at home. For this activity, you will need a trash bag, scissors, and a hair dryer. So you're going to want to take your trash bag. You really can use any trash bag that you have at home. However, it tends to be the thinner the plastic, the more likely it's going to fly. But you can use whatever trash bags you have at home. So you want to take it, fluff it out, and you're going to roll it just a few times, and then try and come close. And you have these two little ear things here at the end, like this, like so. And then you want to just tie a knot right here, like so. And then do the same on the other side. You have these two little things. Then you're going to take your scissors and then you're going to cut these little extra pieces off because it is extra weight and you want to make sure that your balloon is as light as possible. Fun fact, added weight on a balloon is called a bolster. All right, now that I've removed my bolsters, I have a nice little balloon envelope right here. And what I will do is I'm going to take this hair dryer right here, and this is going to be my heat source. This is what's going to heat the air inside of our makeshift balloon envelope. However, be careful not to make it too hot because you don't want to melt the plastic. But what you'll do is you'll stick it in and inflate it like so. However, for this video, I want to test it outside because it's pretty cold outside right now. And so I think it's going to have a better chance of flying if the air outside the envelope is much, much colder than the air inside of the balloon envelope. So why does this work? Why is it that the hot air is making this balloon fly? Well, when we're heating, using this hairdryer, we're heating all the air particles that are inside of this trash bag, or in the case of a hot air balloon, the balloon envelope, right? And so all the air particles that are trapped inside of that envelope are getting heated up. And when air particles are heated, they're moving around. They're moving around really fast. They're pushing up. They're becoming much lighter. They're wanting to float, and they're pushing everything out. So that's what's inflating it. But the air outside of the envelope remains cold, right? And cold air is much more dense than hot air. So the hot air that is being trapped inside of this envelope is going to want to float above all the cold air particles around it, all around it. So that is what's happening inside of your balloon and also inside of hot air balloons that you see in the sky here in Albuquerque. Thank you so much to the Balloon Museum for that cool music. Now we're going to show you how to make a pretty cool snack.
Ooh, I like what you did there. But yes, very cool indeed. In this chilly, frosty little bowl here, especially designed to contain what we have in here, is liquid nitrogen. So liquid nitrogen is sitting at 320 degrees below zero. Freezing cold.
Below zero.
That's chilly. That is very chilly. And what we're going to do is drop something you might have had for lunch recently. Some animal crackers. We're going to plop it in there and let it sit for a few seconds, get nice and cold, soak up all that liquid nitrogen, and then we'll take it out, let it sit for another 15 seconds, and we'll bring up our special friend Lucille and have her try it and see what it's like.
Time for us to poof on out of here. Ready, Sheldon?
I'm ready.
Guys, where am I? Ooh, this looks yummy. Should I eat it? That's a nice winter treat. Bye.
Welcome back. Would it really be a New Year's Eve with Explora if we didn't do a balloon-themed experiment? Absolutely not. So today, the three of us have picked out our 3 favorite gas-producing chemical reactions, and we're going to try to fill up 3 different balloons and see whose will fill up the fastest. A race of sorts, if you will. So, Veronica, which experiment have you picked today?
I picked Coke and Mentos because I think it'll go faster.
All right. Alicia, what do you pick out for us today?
I picked baking soda and vinegar because I love the volcano experiments.
Ooh, very cool. Well, since I'm the coolest, I have picked out liquid nitrogen, 320 degrees below zero, and that'll evaporate, creating some gas, and hopefully I'll fill my balloon the fastest. So, are you guys ready?
I think I am.
Let's try to kick it off on the count of 3, shall we? All right, ready? 1, 2, 3, go! Uh-oh. Alicia's pretty good. You might have to shake yours a little bit. Not too much. I think Alicia might beat me. Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no. That's not doing much of anything.
Wow.
That's nothing like the YouTube. That's nothing like the YouTube videos. Huh.
I think I won.
I think you might have won. It's pretty close though. I don't know. It's pretty good.
Something's to be said about how cute this is, though.
That's adorable.
Very cute.
Well, I think that's that. Thanks, everyone.
I'm Joe Hastings, the Executive Director of Explora, and we are thrilled to be here with you today to celebrate New Year's Eve After Dark. We call it something different here at Explora. We call it Noon Year's Eve. That's our piece of it, and I'll tell you a little bit about that and introduce the person who's going to make it happen. First, I want to thank a couple people. I want to thank the City of Albuquerque and Mayor Tim Keller, and I'd also like to thank Dr. I'd also like to thank Dr. Shel Sanchez, who's the Director of Cultural Services at the city. They are putting on this great event for all of us and all of you. We are so happy to cap this event. Normally, we do New Year's Eve here at Explora. This year, we're thrilled to participate with the Balloon Museum, the Albuquerque Museum, the BioPark, and all the great libraries in town. And we're so thrilled that you could join them and us today. At Explora, I mentioned that we call it Noon Year's Eve, and we're counting down the clock to noon. We really wish you could be here with us in the building to see the dropping and the popping of 2021 balloons. We'll see if we get that number quite right this year. We'll try. If you've been here before, and we hope you have, and we hope you'll join us next year for it, it's a great event. It's noisy, it's chaotic, it's 12 hours before midnight, and that's the best part for me, because then I get to go to bed. But we hope you'll join us. We've missed you this year. From everybody at Explora, we can't wait to get you back in the building, and we'll do that as soon as we can, as soon as it's safe. Our mayor and our governor are working together with all of us to keep us safe and healthy, and we want to do the same. So we'll let you know as soon as possible when we can get you back. All right, well, now I'd like to introduce our MC, the person who's going to help us drop these balloons, and that's Mayor Tim Keller. So thanks so much, and we'll see you again next year.
10, 9, 8,
7, 6, 5,
4, 3, 2,
1!
Happy New Year!
Happy New Year! Yeah!
Goodbye, 2020! You are over! Let's go! Thank you all so much for hanging out with us as we count down the new year. Goodbye, 2020. So long. Bring on 2021. I would love to thank my wonderful host from Explora, Sheldon.
Me? And I would love to thank my wonderful host from the city of Albuquerque, Diana.
Woo! And thank you all again for hanging out with us today as we count down to the new year. Woo!
2021!